Hey everyone, welcome back to A Tribe Called Dhillon podcast. This is our channel. I'm Angie Dhillon.
And I'm Rose Dhillon.
And I'm Alvin Dhillon.
Hope you had a great week. We're going to get into a win of the week segment. It's a segment that we love, and it's been a while since we got back into the cadence. So who wants to go first? Rock, paper, scissors?
I'll go first.
Oh, okay.
Well, mine is actually related to us being content creators. I was on YouTube the other day, looking at some stuff, some how-to videos. And then something clicked to me because our video showed up in my feed. So I watched that and I was like, oh, this is not bad. We're saying some decent stuff. And then I was like, it's been over 3 years now we've been doing this. So then I was like, I have a newfound respect for other content creators. Before we started doing this, I would be like, you didn't think what it takes to do the background stuff, but anyone that's creating their own stuff and it's not just reposted, it's new stuff that they're creating. And you see that if they have to keep up putting it once a week, you're like, and these guys have been doing it for years. You're like, holy cow, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like you started looking at them to be like, props to you, man. Maybe I don't agree with your message on your channel or whatever you're doing on some bits of it, but the fact that you're still pumping out content, you've been doing this for 10 years, you're like, okay. I feel like I can relate to those people. Even though we're only 3 years in, I'm just like, even though we're coming to record here, I was like, man, it's a lot of work, but
it's a lot. Yeah. And dropping the reels on all of our social channels 5 days a week. We're intentional about not doing it on the weekends, and we'll get to that later.
Tying into that was that I was editing my own episodes a month ago, and I was like, yo, why do you sound so angry in here? And it was because we were trying to do so much and keep up, and that every time Saturday would come around, I'd be exhausted or I'd be annoyed. They're I don't have the energy to do this, but we'd push through, and it shows in the episode. So I was editing myself, and I was like, I could barely even activate the volume low. I was like, you sound so angry. And in the exact episode, Ange and Rose guys come back yeah, you said it you're really angry in that episode. The clips didn't come out good. And I was like, I knew it. I was like, I knew that day was not going to come out good. I was like, this week was crazy. So I was like, okay, next time I'm going to come with better energy, come more chill, and holler less because I can't even hear myself when I'm editing. And then I'm like, oh man.
I was like, but Al, the fact that you're that self-aware, you should give yourself props for that.
If I didn't have to edit my own episodes, I wouldn't be that self-aware. But I'm not baller like everybody else out there. I got to edit my own shit. So I'm going to edit myself, and I was like, oh, I'm so angry.
Well, Rose and I said that. I know in several episodes, we're like, why are you shouting at people?
I even tried to slow the speed down to see if I sound less angry. And I was like, no, it sounds even worse. Then I was like,
That's some great win now.
Yeah. That's why I was like, this is going to be a win.
I think what we have to do
is not just a win for me, it's a win for the viewers.
It's a win for humanity. We have to go back to our meditation, our Zen before we do that. I find
but don't hijack Al's win. Move on to your win. You always hijack and take over Al's win.
No, I'm just telling him.
This is my win, not my win.
Now go to your win.
My win. First of all, I am back for a minute. I have been traveling a ton for work. Holy, right? I was in Utah, then I was in Seattle for Lumenfield, then I was in Portland for Trailblazers, then I was back in Seattle, and I'm back here for a minute. But the win is that my company, we installed a new point of sale system at Lumenfield, which is a Seahawks stadium. And the big opening was for the Kendrick Lamar concert. And so usually when I go to these things, I don't usually stick around or stay because I'm exhausted. It's, checking the point of sale, talking to people, making sure everything's good. I usually want to bow out. Right after they say alcohol's cut off, it's our cue to say, good, we can go. But this time I had a new director and she's like, do you want to just watch for a couple minutes? I was like, yeah, let's go down to the field. We've been working all weekend. Let's go. And we went down to the field and we got to watch Kendrick very close up. And it was a really great experience, a very great concert. 60,000 fans, sold out. What was so fascinating for me was the amount of families that came out to watch this, the amount of father-son duos. That was really touching.
Kendrick Lamar's a good role model.
Yeah, it was really touching to see the amount of 50-year-old dads with their 10-year-old son making these poses and taking pictures. And I was like, I'm not sure if this is a family show, but and so then my director, she's new, and she was like, are we going to stick around for They Not Like Us? And I'm like, oh, no, because once that song comes on, that means we're screwed here and we're not going to be able to get out of here. We got to leave.
The last song?
Yeah, because usually they play that last and then everyone starts to. So we left and she left and I took my car out because there's so many cops and everything. By the time I got to the main part of the stadium to get my car out, they started playing it and the crowd went crazy. I could hear in my car and I could feel
the rumbling.
Yeah, the rumbling. I put my windows down and I was like, They Not Like Us. They Not Like. It was so
because you're driving away.
Yeah, as I was driving away, I was just it was a proud moment for me because the only other person who sold out at at Lumenfield was Taylor Swift, and he was the second one to bring
And
such
he's
a
a
high level
black
revenue.
person, which is
Yeah,
awesome.
and
That's so
I
good
was
to
just
see
like,
that.
yes, good for you, man. That was a really proud moment.
He's got that reach.
He's got that reach, and he put on a good performance. Except for there's times where I was like, dude, your pants are gonna fall off. I don't understand this concept about rappers.
I don't understand that concept with people's pants. Like still, like back in the days, like Will Smith down to
Yeah, we
here.
used to
like,
do that. Get that back in the day, but now I don't understand.
Comfort's more
Like
important, right?
pants are meant to be pants around your waist.
And SZA was really good too. She put on a pretty good performance too.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
her songs are good.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
Your win.
My win here is you're kind of looking at it. I finally succumbed. It was 4 years. My boyfriend was doing my layers and my hair was starting to look like a mop. You probably saw that in all of my clips. And I was like, I got to go deal with this. So I do want to say, if you live in Surrey, if you live in the province of Vancouver, if you are looking for a really good person to layer your hair or even do color, shout out to Jolly at Hair Castle in Surrey. He crushed it and killed it. I told him what I wanted. I said, I don't want a lot of layers. I just want some face framing layers. I want my hair to still feel thick. I want it to be long. And voila, this is a month later. So I always like to cut my hair a month before I go anywhere or do anything so the layers grow in. But I'm happy. Like I actually went into the office. Nobody even noticed my hair or noticed that I had chopped it. And that's what you want. You want a subtle haircut or fresh layers. So just, I'm going to try and get Jolly actually on our podcast. He's got such a cool story. Came from India about 7-8 years ago, and Hair Castle, he opened up with another, I think 2 other guys, and the business is thriving. And he only does it only takes female clients and does female hair. That's his specialty.
I would like to meet him because if Ange is happy with her hair, I would just like to meet you. Just
Yeah,
see.
because Ange is never happy. When she sent me the
Never
video,
happy.
by the way, when she sent me the video, I was like, she looked like a supermodel. She's like, boom, like, you know that one that Denise Richards where she does that hair thing?
Yeah, the wind- the
Ange sent me the
fan
video.
blowing.
I was like, damn, I gotta go see this guy.
Yeah, he was very
She talked about him all weekend. So I was like,
and he was very reasonably priced. Like, I don't believe in that. You know, when you go somewhere $250, like, what are you doing that you're charging me $250 for a haircut? So I refused to go there. But I did my research, took my time, I went and saw him, and I'm super happy. And the only reason I didn't take you all with me was because I was like, it's my first time. Let me feel him out. Let's see if he gets my
you should
vibe.
take the viewers with you for the next one.
So
But
my next
I'll add
one.
the video of her showing what it looked like when she first got done. It was really well
Well, on
done.
her next one, if she decides to do it,
Yeah,
let's just shoot it.
because
sure.
honestly, when you find a good hairstylist or a hair person in your Lower Mainland, a lot of times with women, I find that women will not disclose their hairstylist
I
or their
know.
barber. Like, why?
Or their makeup artist.
Yeah, like
or
it's
their clothes.
I want
or
everybody to
anything.
look. Yeah, I want everyone to look
I don't know
good.
why.
So I'm not going to be. We're not one of those people. If something works for us and we love it, we want to pump him up and pump up his business.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we all rise and thrive together. So just want to say shout out Jolly. Okay, so let's get into today. We're going to try not to keep our content today heavy, but as some of you may have been following the Sean, I'm going to say his name, like Sean, Puff Daddy, Sean, Diddy, Puffy, Love. Now, I don't even know all the other names.
Something
but-
Combs.
Yeah, Sean Puffy Combs. We know his trial's on right now, right? And I know that a lot of content creators and YouTubers everybody's doing the daily recap of the trial. I'm not going to lie, Diddy is nasty and gross. I am appalled by some of the things that I'm hearing, but I think we, on our platform, we want to take a negative situation and we want to look at it from a positive lens, always about learning, growing, and lessons. So, we know we got to stay relevant, and sometimes we got to talk about really strange and uncomfortable things in our culture and in pop culture. So that's what we're going to do today. But before we get into it, I do want to say is that don't laugh when they fall. I have preached this. With my siblings and we always say this. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to continue laughing when people do those bicycle prank videos and they fall, because that stuff is awesome and it gets me in stitches. But when real, like human beings, and like Diddy has like 6 children, like it on all levels, it's just sad. It's really unfortunate. When I do my workout, sometimes I have a random mix, and a lot of Diddy's songs from the 90s that he's produced will come on, and they get me into the mood. Like I'll be Missing You with Faith Heavens, the remix, with
Hypnotized.
Mace, More Money, More Problems. And we gotta give credit where credit's due.
He has so many one-liners, and
Right.
I feel like they do come up. Like I try to like block it out, but not pay attention to the trial. But like even a song the other day, I was rocking the day, and I was like something. The manager said something, and I was in my head. I was like, yeah, we ain't go nowhere because we can't be stopped. And I went to the end. That's like, oh fuck, that's a Diddy line. And I was like, and then just everything after that, my whole mood was like, I was like, everything, all those one-liners, those killer one-liners, are tied to him. Yeah, also being a great producer, but also being like a demon, like behind closed doors. And especially when I saw that video of what he did to Cassie, that's when I was like, oh, this is real. Like, this is not a he said, she said, or like people are just doing drugs behind closed doors and they're having a great time. Like, you did, when I saw that, I was like, okay, like,
and
Diddy, very disgusting.
Like in the 90s, so much of us growing up, we can relate to the culture and the music because we as Indians also didn't know where we fit in.
We felt oppressed.
We were born and raised here in the Western country, but we had Eastern values. Like India soul's like, you guys are way too Westernized for us. We don't get along. We don't fit in sometimes with the Indian kids because you're not the same caste as everybody. And who cares about that? But like hip hop and pop music.
Models. Growing up,
he was a role model.
When we were just around like that, like 10 to let's say like 20 range. That's when it was in the 90s when hip hop was just coming out with Tupac, Biggie, and Puffy, and he was the center of always. Anytime there was a hit or you'd wait for something, it would be Puffy bringing it out, and it was
like dope. Like you still listen to now, you're like,
how do you create at that level, but also be like a demon, like behind doors?
But I think that's the thing. I think the demons are not just like born. It's over time. It's kind of like planting a tree and then feeding it water, and that tree grows. The demon just kept growing. It kept growing. He just kept feeding it all these dark things and getting away with it. And unfortunately, he didn't have any gatekeepers around him. And something that I wanted to say about this was like, if you are thinking of getting into any industry where you're going to be a public figure, like that's great power and then great responsibility. So if you don't think that you can live a life that is going to be, I don't want to say perfect, but enough that your morals and your values are going to get compromised, don't do it. Because I think for us, especially for me, like it was really heartbreaking to find out all the things that Diddy did. I was so disappointed in him. I was so like, dude, you had a responsibility to the community, not just the Black community, but like all of us. Like there's so many of us.
Into all that kind of stuff, like I'm pretty sure there's a community of people that want to do that for money. You don't have to be forcing people. And then, like,
100%.
Like I get from where he was doing blackmailing, where like to get him, because as a black man in the industry, right, he's probably they're gonna keep him under their thumb. He used that against the rich billionaires. Okay, not just, but you were into his whole trafficking, that you were part of a network. Obviously, it's not him, but it's like sick that you were part of this thing that just went on for so long, and finally for technology and women uprising that it came out and someone leaked that video. Otherwise, I don't think if someone leaked that video, we wouldn't have hard footage of Diddy. Because if you look at all the clips, they only replay that one. Of him in the hotel hallway, with Cassie. There's no other footage of him at his freak offs. They might have it because they raided his house, but we haven't seen anything yet.
And I think what was so disturbing with that, because obviously we've never met Puff Daddy, but if you look online, you can see he's a big guy. He's got muscles. He's 6 feet. Like he's a big. So when he kicks this small little thing, like that's not a standard kick. Like that's a kick that's gonna could do some serious damage to her. Yeah,
but it's a woman.
I think
that's one thing too.
Yeah. Diddy had he changed the landscape of hip hop and pop culture. And, remember when his Sean John clothing line came out? Like he was monumental in doing such good stuff. He employed so many people. He was also inclusive. He gave opportunities to so many people, scholarships. Like we can go on and on. But listen, I know when people do things in their personal lives, it's none of our business. But when we can't say, obviously we have to say SADV because of the community guidelines by YouTube. And this is another thing that I want to say with YouTube. Honestly, YouTube is doing so many other things that they let pass through their algorithm, but we can't
and we're
say
getting
these
we
words.
keep getting strikes and stuff on certain
copyright
things.
issues. And I know other content creators, when I listen to them, they can't say the certain words. They're like unalive. SADV, like we're like, really, YouTube?
Even our stuff.
Our stuff gets striked all the time. And then I can see sometimes our content, like some of our content is starting to like have a movement, and then you see them scale back
with this kind of stuff that we were getting is when I started putting pieces together. I was saying, this is how they have, what's the word, like we were saying, like we're starting to get like, it's no longer like a sense of freedom that you have, like freedom of speech. They're slowly, but they're doing it like bit by bit where you're not really paying attention, because you're like, if we're allowed to say these things now, and we're not saying like outlandish stuff, that's a form of control. So you're seeing it at that level where you're like, okay, I get it, what people are saying now. We're like, where if you keep allowing it, they're going to start taking more control of your freedom of speech and start using it against you.
Yeah, I agree. And these are things that we have to talk about. I do want to bring this up as we say this, because there's this famous speech that this minister, his name is Louis Farrakhan, said that he's like,
Louis Farrakhan.
Is it called Louis? Louis or Louis?
Yeah,
maybe Louis. Lewis.
that's a great
Maybe
one.
Lewis. And he's like, learn when men fall, don't laugh.
Yeah.
And this is also the Breakfast Club. Charlemagne the God said it on his podcast with Andrew Schultz. And he's right. He's like, everything in life is a lesson. And I do want to say that is like, it's to all of you that are listening. At one point or at some point in your life, you're going to fall. I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah.
We've all three of us has been there. Alvin fell.
This is me
Rose
climbing up
fell.
right now.
I have fallen. So never laugh at anybody. I'll tell you, because one day you're going to look back and be in a really shitty situation and you're going to be like, yeah, you know what? My karma came back to bite me because I laughed at somebody. So we're all going to fall, whether it's professionally, in our career, personally.
Just do better.
There's going to come
Just
a
be
day
better.
in our life where there's a chance that we're going to fall or something's going to shake us to our core, that we have to be better as human beings and society. So I'm going to get Al to drop this clip into the video, but I'm going to play the audio.
When you see men fall, don't laugh. Learn. Learn. Because you're on your way up. And the things that tempt people to fall, you and I are not free from that temptation, nor from the weakness that will cause us to stumble and fall. When you laugh at somebody else's fall, white or black, rich or poor, your enemy or your friend, you are laughing and opening a way for your own demise when you do that. Because to laugh and not learn, to make mockery and not to understand, is to make the same mistake yourself. Did you hear me?
Isn't that
That's
amazing?
powerful.
Yeah, very
It's so
powerful.
true though, because you know that everyone's gonna have their ups and downs, man.
Yep.
Yeah, and how many people are probably laughing? Like right now, I know 50 Cent keeps mocking him and making jokes and stuff, and I'm like, 50, like, don't even say anything.
And you know, like I've had so many of my friends send me messages now with the whole Elon Musk thing too, saying, "Ha, you were a big Elon fan," like, "Ha," and I was like, I have compassion for him. Like I actually feel really bad. This was a boy. It's a little 10-year-old boy trapped in that 50-year-old body that didn't have a father. He's just looking for a father figure. If you really just break down what's happening here, is that he went to go he's trying to find himself. Like he thinks by running away to Mars is what's going to give him peace. The reality is you're never going to find peace of mind until you do the work. But like all my friends were laughing at him and ridiculing him. And I was like, listen, I've read the autobiography. Maybe I just have spent too much time like watching him or understanding him. It's just, I feel really sad for him. He's in a really dark space, and I just hope that he can come out of it because he's a great innovator and he does. Everybody I know who uses Starlink loves it. Tesla, like,
all his actions are signs of someone's hurting,
So
right?
hurting.
You
Right.
keep having like multiple baby mamas, you're having on drugs, like it's just a sign of like he's trying to figure things out, but it's like he's not handling it the right way.
And he's doing it on a public platform.
Because look how he got
unfortunately.
started. He got famous for essentially his goal was to help the people.
Yeah.
People should have access to like affordable transportation and be better for the environment. And he was the one. Before him, there was no mass electric cars available.
Nobody went after the big car industry.
It
Exactly.
was just them ruling.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. You know, I think the other thing is with we're a laughing culture now. Honestly, because of social media, we are so quick to judge someone. We lack self-awareness.
Yep.
We don't look in our own backyard before we, mock someone else's blueberry field or, whatever you call it. That's a really bad analogy. But I think it boils down to the types of people these people hang around with. Like, look at Diddy's circuit of people. They're all like yes people.
They're all enablers.
Enablers. Like no one has the guts to sit down and say, like, if he was my friend, I'd be like, yo, like you're going to lose everything. It's going to take one or two
But it's
people.
everyone,
Yes.
like, they all have to live too, right? So someone in
Honestly.
his network is like, if I leave this job, I'm with him, me doing what I do, I'm making $200K a year.
Yep.
But if I leave that, they're gonna go make $40K a year somewhere else, and
We gotta be
they have to
better.
look the
We
other
gotta be
way
better.
sometimes.
We have to, like, even R. Kelly, like, dude, what are you doing chasing after little girls? Will Smith slapped to
If they did all
Chris
of this
Rock.
stuff to anyone that was over 21, they wouldn't even have all these problems.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
If it was just anyone over 21, they would have been like, okay.
And you know what makes me sad also, and I'm going to talk quickly on Shannon Sharpe saga, is that these are all colored people. So we can relate because this is like one of our brothers falling.
Yeah.
Honestly, it really is. It's not, and it
hurts more.
It hurts more because those are the only figures that when we were growing up, we had the hip hop culture, we had the black culture to look up to because when we were growing up,
we idolized them. I idolized them.
we used to
idolized
watch
them
Will
too.
Smith growing up. I used to watch Martin Lawrence on with Gina. What was that
Yeah, I
show?
wanted to be
Remember
like
you
Snoop.
idolized Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson we idolized
So
too.
to
Yeah.
us growing up as Indians, we didn't have any Indian influence on TV. It was all hip hop and black culture and black influences and black cultural figures. So to me, I take this so much more personally because I'm like, you're like us. You're one of us. You know, like keep trailblazing.
Yeah.
And Shannon Sharpe too. Like, come on, Uncle.
I know, I liked him.
They're calling.
I did
everyone's
too.
saying
He
Uncle
did good
Shay.
interviews. He did the whole. I'm just disappointed in his behavior too.
I'm so disappointed because I love watching Uncle Shay's podcast.
I can't watch it anymore.
I learned from him. I love the style that he would bring on guests. He was very similar to our style and our platform, that he never mocked anybody. He always brought, and he lifted everybody. And he brought so many people. And honestly, if it wasn't for him, that Cat Williams, that thing would not have gone viral the way it did. And the fact that now he's most likely going to lose is because he's 54 at the time. He's 57 now. But what is a 54-year-old man doing with a 19-year-old girl on OnlyFans? What do you think her MO is? What do you think? Like, it's just on all levels, it's gross.
Yeah, come
Get
on.
him out.
And also,
look at his status. Your podcast is just blowing up.
And this is where you surround yourself with people that will help you
check
grow
your
on
behavior.
Like one thing I'll say, like Ange said to Al maybe a couple weeks ago, "Oh, Al, I have this girl in mind for you that I think I want to introduce you to." And then for some reason, Al just asked how old is she? I think she might be a little young. I was like, "How young?" She's 23, 24. And first thing Al goes, "That's too young for me." I had such a proud moment as a sister. My heart inside was like, "We've raised a good man." Oh, thank God that Al said, "You know what? 13 years is too much for me." That's where I draw the line. He's like, "What do I have in common with women in their early 20s?" And it
this
just
is a
felt like such a
30-something-year-old thing.
I still think Selena Gomez looks like a child. She's a grown-ass
She's the same
woman.
age as you, Alex. She's only a couple years younger
she
than you.
always looked like a child. Like anyone
got a
that likes
baby
this
face.
look, I was like, she looks like a child.
Yeah,
But again,
Selena
it was just
Gomez
such a
baby
proud
face.
moment that our brother was wise enough to say, "Yeah, no, that's not for me." So if he can figure it out, you can figure it out.
Yeah. So right now we don't know, by the time this episode airs, there might be maybe a week or 2 weeks left, or the trial verdicts is going to come out. Do we think he's going to go get some jail time? I think he is.
I think he's going to get some jail time, but it's not going to be what people are going to expect and want because he has too much footage of too many powerful people doing crazy stuff that's linked worldwide that they're going to give him like a couple years, give him a slap on the wrist. Remember, after 2 years, people forget about stuff. And then with Trump doing what he does, there's going to be plenty of other news that people are going to... I forgot about him for a while because of what was going on with Trump. There's so much action going on over there.
The other thing that we have to realize is one man can't be his own enterprise. You got to have so many people. It's a network of people. Why is one person taking the fall? Like his chief of staff, Christina Karam, she's been linked to so many things as well.
You know what's disturbing is how many women, like that Ghislaine Maxwell too, how many women are doing this? Like maybe I'm just really naive and like live in a bubble, but I always think about women. We have just morals and we have like these values and we're like, no, I don't want to hurt people. Like it's just wild to me that women do this to other women. You think
women would have a sisterhood with each other, protect each other?
No.
Unfortunate. I don't want to harp too much on this, but this is a lesson for all of us. This is like when public figures fall from grace and we can no longer hold them, in that light that we saw them as powerful figures. Obviously, we know that this is the era of now the Me Too movement, social media. Everyone's woke. Everyone's going to start addressing things now. And it's a scary time in our culture. But at the same time, we can all learn and grow from like watching and there's lessons. What's the lesson in all of this? Like, what do we want our listeners and our viewers to take away from this?
The line that Al said when we first started the podcast, you better check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Ice Cube.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You better make sure you keep yourself aligned. Otherwise, the money and the fame will destroy your legacy.
Yeah. And I think with Diddy, all of the substances that he was taking, like if you look at him, he was constantly numbing himself from something. So what are you running away from? Face the devil. Face the devil.
You're doing bad
because he's
things
doing,
to
you're doing bad things to another human. That's going out into the universe. That karma energy is out there. It's going to flush its way around back to you unless you keep trying not to do those things. But he was going deeper into it. And I think like anybody, the darker things you do, your soul's going to eat away at you. And then you need the drugs to numb that feeling that's coming out.
Yeah. And another take is when Diddy first started off, his frequency, he was vibrating on a super high frequency. And if you look at all these shenanigans, like that's low frequency stuff. Why are you doing stuff like that?
Because once you don't have money problems, you start to create other problems. It's really true. Once you don't have money problems, it's like the human mind is just searching for shit to do.
It must have started like we're like, he was not able to get like rights to certain things, or the industry is holding him back. So then he started saying, like, you know what, when they hold these parties, like, they're doing crazy stuff. Let's start recording it. So then
some blackmail material.
And then as it got deeper into it, then he really, you know, once you get into that, you've done that, then I think like you've opened up Pandora's box. And then
and you know who suffers is the innocent kids. Like he's got 6 children, and
That's
it's really
terrible.
sad that you know.
And because that industry is like entertainment, so like, you know, as people's faces, as they age out, the music ages out, you need a new fresh batch of people coming in too. So it's like a never-ending cycle of it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's our take. We just wanted to just table our perspective on what's happening right now. Not that we don't want to talk about things that are trending or relevant, but this is our take. It might be boring to some of you, but truthfully, everything in life is a life lesson. And we're just going to send love and light to everybody, to the family, to all of the victims, unfortunately, because no one wins in situations like this. And as a society, we have to do better. We have to be better. And honestly, start checking your circle. If you got people, if you got people that are not helping you grow and, you know, adult and be responsible and accountable for your behavior, get rid of them, because they're enablers. They're not helping you grow as a human being. And honestly, I don't want to be the same way that I was when I was 20 or 25. Life is about growing and evolving. So everybody out there, like, get rid of these types of people. That's my rant. Okay. So don't laugh when people fall, unless it's a bicycle prank video.
Then it's not personal. You don't really know who that person in the video is.
Yeah, and the bicycle prank videos, those are staged. And if you're stealing a bike and there's nobody around, then you fall.
You deserve coming your way, man.
I love I sat there, I watched it last week for 10 minutes. I had like tears coming down. I don't know why. It's weird. I'll show it to you. Anyhow, we'll be back in 2 weeks. Please take care of yourself. Think about a win of the week. Bye for now. And don't forget to hit subscribe if you're new to our channel. We want the watch time hours. I'm just going to send out a plea to everybody now. Those of you that are actually watching us on IG, our regulars, our day one, we need you to start engaging with us. Please share our content. Please like and share, engage with us. Honestly, we know everybody,
give us ideas.
Everybody looks at our stuff, but we honestly need you to hit that like button and like share the content. And together we're going to grow. So I'm just going to say that we need your support across all of our social channels, and together we're going to do really amazing things, because we are the type of people that are not going to forget those of you that started on the journey with us when we had 0 subscribers. So bye for now.
Bye.
See ya.